With our chase for a top four finish clearly on now, honestly, it is clear that the players have got a lot of credit to take for this improvement. Welcome to the United Hotspot. My name is Webb, and here is my list of the top 5 most improved Manchester United players as of now. And I'll start it off with number 5. Number 1, number 2, and number 3 can be adjusted depending on how you look at it, but there is also a bonus guy. I'll tell you who that is at the tail end of the video. Number 5 for me is Scott McTominay. Yes, Scott McTominay was at some point, honestly, I hate to say it, but our worst player, because people were having complaints about how he was always making our midfield look disorganized. He was afraid to go into tackles defensively. He was all over the place. Yet Erik ten Hag kept playing him. And we are all saying, why exactly is Erik ten Hag insisting on playing Scott McTominay? But today, I first of all love the fact that he has humbly accepted the fact that he's not going to be a starter when most of our players are fit, but he's not frowning about it. He will still come off the bench and is excited for the few minutes he will be given, and he will put in the hard yards to score a goal. And hasn't he scored important goals for us? He's fast becoming our best impact player. He has scored 4 goals coming off the bench, the most from any player. I think he's starting with the one Pedro off the bench. But he has scored more goals for Manchester United than he has in the past 6 seasons he has been there already now for Manchester United this season. Most of those coming off the bench. Big credit to Scott McTominay. He's my number 5 most improved player at Manchester United. Number 4, and yeah, the people who don't want to give credit where it's due will feel bad about this one. Andre Onana. Andre Onana has taken a lot of flack. No footballer in global football has taken too much beating or more beating than Andre Onana. We've been calling him out day in and day out. Like, he wasn't the best goalkeeper in the Champions League just the season before we bought him. Andre Onana has suffered, conceding 50 goals now, I think about 51 already in the season. People blaming him for things that, yes, he was rightfully supposed to be blamed for, but also for mistakes made by players ahead of him. People were just tired of Onana, comparing him to David De Gea. Bring back De Gea. Well, if he's going to continue performing like he has in the past 2 games, no one should be mentioning the name David De Gea. The reality is, let's give him his credit. And I know it's early days. He's not done. It's not like Andre Onana all of a sudden now is back and is the best in Europe. No. But let us judge him by the last 2 games and let us give him his credit. He has improved by a mile. In fact, he would have been my number 1 because the level of improvement based from what he was just a few games ago to what we are seeing just this year against Tottenham, Andre Onana was terrible. But the past 2 games, the clean sheet against West Ham, now this game against Aston Villa, Andre Onana, what an improvement. So for me, he's my number 4 most improved player at Manchester United. And honestly, I know it's only going to get better for him. I know it's only going to get better for him because his confidence is back and his concentration levels, I think, are clearly up. Those are very important things to a goalkeeper. You've got to be concentrated to play football at that level, more so if you're protecting the biggest goal in global football. The Man United goal is not the same size as any other goal. It's the biggest goal in global football. So you need to concentrate more than any other goalkeeper for you to keep it safe. So Onana, kudos, bro. Kudos. Well done. Merci beaucoup. Now, number 3. Now, here is where the debates will begin in terms of order. Well, number 3, number 2, and number 1 are almost obvious, but not quite. So my third best, most improved player at Manchester United is Rasmus Højlund. Man, 5 goals and 2 assists in the last 5 games. Youngest player to score in back 4 consecutive Premier League games. He's breaking records for fun, yet just weeks ago, we are calling him out for not being as clinical. We knew that, yes, he was not getting enough service, and when the service came, we are always sure he would score the goals. But there are moments where we felt the Garnachos, the Højlunds, the Brunos were giving him the ball, but he was failing to score goals that should have been obvious. I think he has improved in his finishing by a mile. I think every day Højlund, I feel, comes into the game knowing I have to score a goal. and his mentality has improved, and that's why he's scoring goals. That's why United games start and we all feel it and see it, that Rasmus Højlund is going to be scoring a goal anytime. So that's a big improvement for someone who just joined the clubs. For someone who started and struggled to score a single goal in the Premier League, to be scoring in consecutive games and assisting, Rasmus Højlund is such a baller. He is my third most improved player at Manchester United. Now that takes me to number 2. Now, number 2, again, another beautiful story of football. This guy being stripped of captaincy and humiliated, we are all bashing him. An MP in Ghana was calling him out, using him as an example in Parliament, only for him to retract his statements because Harry Maguire stayed humble and focused and knew, I'm not performing well, but this is just a period. This is just a small window. He was so professional, and that's why probably he's being blessed and supported by not just the Premier League, by everyone. Harry Maguire was the laughing stock of town. When you talk football and memes, Harry Maguire, I don't think any footballer has endured more memes than Harry Maguire. He was the best player in November, stripped of captaincy first of all, given to Bruno Fernandes. That's a humiliating thing to happen for you. You're still there, but they're stripping you of captaincy. West Ham wants him. The club wants to sell him. He says, I'm not going. He doesn't want to go. We attack him. I'm guilty as charged. I'm among those who attacked him. Why don't you go? You don't have the heart of this club. You're surplus requirements. We don't like you. Maguire was calm. He was backed fully by the England national team coach, Gary Southgate. He stayed calm and professional, not ranting on social media. He was always posting humble messages. He was the player of the month of November in the Premier League, gets injured, comes back from injury, steps up his game, and boom, he's man of the match in our most impressive performance, perhaps one of the most impressive performances we've had of the season. Harry Maguire comes out and covers the gap left by Lisandro Martinez decently well. Give him his credit. Harry Maguire is our second most improved player in terms of defensive abilities and what he does defensively. How his communication, his leadership is coming out. He's a natural leader. He's communicating, talking to the referee even more than Bruno Fernandes. But most importantly, he's had his contribution in set pieces. You saw the goal Rasmus Højlund scored. He's the one who headed that ball, getting that, connecting well with the Bruno ball from the corner and heading it. But you kept doing those whenever we had a corner. He's making good use of his height and his big size and body to bully opponent players and winning balls in the air. What a baller. I think we are yet to see the best of his return. For me, what an improvement. Number 2, he could have been my number 1 hadn't it been for the Portuguese wonder boy, Diogo Dalot. Cristiano Ronaldo, whenever I see Diogo Dalot and his improvement, I remember Cristiano Ronaldo and what he said in that interview with Piers Morgan. And I'm saying, what a guy. This guy knows football. I wonder what Ronaldo will be if he ever retires, if it will, because it feels like the way he takes care of his body, he can play until he's 100. But I think he just knows football, because everything Cristiano Ronaldo said in the interview with Piers Morgan is unfolding before our eyes clearly. He said Diogo Dalot is going to be a good footballer because of all the youngsters. He was the most disciplined and most hardworking of all of them. And clearly you can see, if there is one player who has consistently been improving game after game for Manchester United since the start of the year, I think for the most games, as far as 6 or 7 games, if you can recall, Diogo Dalot has been improving at something every day. At some point, we are calling him Diogo Dalot because he was becoming a meme as well. He was so funny, he was all over the place, he was disorganized, probably because the instructions Erik ten Hag was giving him were a bit confusing him. But right now you see that he has mastered how Erik ten Hag wants him to play. He has improved his crossing, he has improved his defending. He's a ball player, contributes to the midfield when he has to, good at his overlapping runs. What a footballer Diogo Dalot is turning out to be. He's fast becoming one of the best right backs in the Premier League, if not in global football. Diogo Dalot is such a baller, and he's so humble. Whenever he's deployed, he will play. Tell him to contribute to the midfield, he will go there, ask for the ball, pass and assist and score. He will go play as a left back when Luke Shaw is not there. What a player. Diogo Dalot, kudos to you. You don't get enough credit, but he has been consistently all the past, I think from the start of the year against Tottenham, all the games we've played, he has always been among our top 3 best players. All the games. Kobe Mino will be the best player. Diogo Dalot is also close. He's among them. He's always consistently among our 3 best players. Keeping himself fit. He's improving. Dalot for me is our most improved player, and we haven't even seen the best of him. Now, the bonus guy, yes. Of course, the team has improved because of the individuals and the cohesion, but the one bonus guy who deserves a lot of credit is the boss, Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag has improved in his decision making. He has improved in the way he deals with players. I love how he dealt with Marcus Rashford. That now we are even forgetting about it. He's not extremely ruthless. He has improved with his communication. He speaks more sense in his press conferences when he's talking to us and explaining his tactics. He sees football the way we all see it. He's making the right substitutions at the right time. Erik ten Hag has improved a lot. So for me, he's our bonus most improved person at Manchester United. Of course, the players will always come first and take the credit. The coaches are not given so much credit. They are blamed when things are going wrong most of the time. But for me, I want to give credit to Erik ten Hag, and I agree he deserves more time to rebuild this team because he's beginning to get it right. Hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb. For me, that's my list. I'm out.